well, Tony Petitti, he's kicked it off, and he's focused on more conference games to matter in November. That's one of the things that he stated, and I'm pretty sure that you guys already have seen that. And there were a lot of questions. I don't know if it was aired or not. The questions that are asked afterwards. Did you, from the media?
Were they aired?
Yes.
I could not tell you.
Okay. Well,
maybe somebody in the chat can. I've been a bad observer of Big Ten Media Days today. I have seen zero.
Oh, okay. Well, so there's been a lot of questions about the conference and whether or not there should be we should try and make the SEC play 9 conference games and those sort of things. It was interesting because he said, we don't care how many conference games anyone plays. They want an allocated system. So basically, I think kind of across the board, let's just go ahead and decide this is what we're going to do. And it's across the board. So he kind of, backed away from that question a little bit, but it was interesting because Brett Bielema, he was the first one up, but then Curt Cignetti had a whole lot to say about whether or not the SEC should play that 9th conference game. And he kept saying, we need to standardize the schedule across the board. Meaning, if everyone plays 9 conference games, and that's what we do.
What's amusing about that is Curt Cignetti should be the last person on the planet to be talking about standardizing schedules since his team doesn't play anybody outside the conference. Maybe we should standardize that you have to play somebody outside the conference. That's a stupid, asinine statement to make.
He even kind of said that. He said, we just figured we'd adopt what the SEC's doing. Take their philosophy with strength of schedule. That's exactly what he said. It was pretty amusing.
And then you grilled him, right, Minnie? You jumped in. You grabbed the mic from.
No, I did not. He's something else, though. He is a lot of fun.
Yes, he is.
And then
he's doing a heck of a job too.
Mike Locksley, he got up and he was kind of asked some of the same questions, and he said basically whatever Curt said, I agree 100%.
Okay.
It's like he has it all figured out.
If I was a head coach in the Big Ten, I as well would take the SEC to task about the number of games in the conference schedule, the 9 versus the 8. But it's just humorous that the 2 guys that are asked about this and then respond in such a way play a bunch of high school teams in their non-conference schedule. Neither one of those 2 teams are playing anyone this year.
Well, Indiana plays Penn State this year.
No, I mean outside the conference. Neither one
of
those
outside of
schools
conference. No, you're right.
Anyone. Mm-hmm. Maryland is another embarrassment. They don't play anyone.
Well, now that was an interesting. What Mike Locksley had to say was pretty interesting because he said that he lost his team last year, with only 4 wins, and that he's basically said, I'm never going to let that happen again. So, I really just, more than anything, I think I developed more respect for these head coaches and kind of all the different things that they have to deal with. Brett Bielema, he started it off, and he was probably one of the best to speak about it. Just all the different angles, how it's changed, how now they're able to use PayPal to pay out those the revenue sharing. Just how different that is.
So Minnie, let's back up a few hours. And so you got to Vegas, you got on site, you're at Allegiant Stadium.
No, Mandalay Bay.
You're at Mandalay Bay. Okay. Mm-hmm. You're at Mandalay Bay. That's what I originally thought. Then, anyway, so you're at Mandalay Bay. How's the setup? I got to think it's pretty impressive.
Beautiful. It is beautiful. Um, it's a huge conference center. We're on like the third floor of this gigantic conference center, and it just has on the third floor they have like an area where all like ESPN, CBS is set up, and they have lunch for all of us, like really nice breakfasts and lunch. Sorry, I keep doing that. So yeah, it's just really nice, really beautiful here.
All right, so I'm missing out. Okay.
Yeah, free lunch.
So let's see. It's what about 4:15 Eastern? So it's 1:15 there. So all the head coaches have hit the podium, the main stage, correct?
All six for today. So Wednesday there will be six more, and then Thursday we'll finish with six. And then they have 40. I think it's 40 minutes, 45 minutes for each coach to be at the podium that spoke today. The podium's kind of set up behind me, and that's where you can, kind of have a free for all, ask questions, and they'll do 30 minutes for the athletes.
So we have yet to do any of those breakout sessions with the coaches and the players.
We're right in between it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah, it's really informational, I would say. Of course, everybody is hitting on their highlights for last season, talking about that. But, of course, I wouldn't be me if I didn't really focus on Nebraska and what Matt Rule said. If you want to know what he said, I loved his quote.
Yeah, I have stated a number of times that I am more impressed with Matt Rule's public delivery, his speaking delivery, than any coach in the Big Ten.
Well, he didn't give very long of a speech. This was like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
No, he's going to be great at the breakout session.
Yeah, I can't wait. But his quote that I loved was, "We're gonna go make a run at this year." And if you know Matt Rule and how he talks, that's actually a big statement for him to make. He doesn't do that.
No, he doesn't. So he must have confidence in this team. He knows what he sees every day and feels good about it. He's also looked at the schedule.
That's true. That's true. Nebraska has the easiest schedule in the Big Ten.
So I hear.
Good on them. Good on them.
All right. Any particular players from the Huskers or otherwise that you're looking forward to hearing from?
Yes. I've already seen Dylan Raiola, but he was talking with somebody, so I didn't want to interrupt. Of course, I want to see all the Husker players. I want to see as many players as I can. Yeah. So this is going to be really exciting. I can't wait for the breakout session.
All right. Minnie Hunt, working for the Voice of College Football there. You can also catch her on Corn Nation, of course, on Mondays and Thursdays. Work in the room there at the Big Ten Media Days.
Yes.
Very good.
I've also shared with you and Jackson some videos from today. So hopefully you guys can post those if you want to.
We've posted one. We will continue. Yes.
Okay. Good.
Absolutely.
Good.
All right,
any
Minnie.
questions you want me to ask any of the head coaches?
Yeah. I want you to ask Kirk Sidnetti when he's going to, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to get back on the scheduling rant. No, I'm sure you will come up with some excellent questions.
Okay. No, seriously, I do want to know. What is your thought on this? Okay.
Well, my thought is we don't have a governing body in college football, and we don't have a commissioner to hold anyone accountable to a standardized schedule. Therefore, the SEC could say to the Big Ten, why don't you go back to an 8-game schedule?
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say who should be playing 8, who should be playing 9 games?
Right.
Now, I do believe that a 9-game schedule is better for the sport because these conferences are so large that you're already missing approximately 8 teams in your own conference that you can't play. So what's the point in playing in a conference if you're not playing as many teams as possible in the conference?
Right.
But I don't really think that the Big Ten, everybody has freedom of speech, so they can say whatever they want, but I don't know what the Big Ten can say about the SEC. The SEC has autonomy to do whatever they want, and
Right.
the Big Ten to do whatever they want. And until we have somebody that oversees the sport to standardize it, then.
Yes, that's the key right there. I think that's who's to say which is better? I mean, obviously, more conference games are better just for the sport. But if we're not, and then it goes into the strength of schedule. Are the non-conference games going to matter? Somebody asked a question about, we had 4 teams in the Big Ten that were at the top. Why at the end of the season should they have to then go in and play, uh, the playoffs? Why can't we just have an automatic qualifier?
Oh, instead of playing the conference championship game.
Yes. And I mean, that was a good question. But then Tony Petitti said it's because more games are just better for the sport. More games are good. And I think Brett Bielema even answered that question as well. And he said, I don't know one head coach that would sit up here and tell you they don't want to play another game. So they want to play more games.
Well, they want to keep a Big Ten championship game because it makes money, and it's a great showcase for the sport and for the conference. However, once we expanded to 12 teams, we know that both of those teams are making the playoffs. So what's on the line? That's the issue. And if we go to 16 teams, that Big Ten championship team won't even get a bye.
Right. That's where you lose. I mean, I don't know. It's all interesting. It's very thought-provoking. And I think, all of these coaches, including the Big Ten commissioner, have all heard it all. So just trying to figure out what works best.
And they are kind of put on the spot from this perspective. These coaches, they don't control any of this. They don't control the schedule. They don't make the conference schedule. They don't make the non-conference games. The athletic director is in charge of the non-conference games. They don't go out there and schedule. They just play the teams that are on the schedule. So they're a good resource to get their opinion because obviously they've got a ton of knowledge and they care and they're invested in it, but they have no decision-making power over the scheduling situation.
Right. Exactly. That's part of the problem. I think Brett Bielema actually spoke to that. He said, in the Big Ten, it's a little different than other conferences because you can actually go and sit down and on a monthly basis talk with Tony Petitti instead of getting told, last minute what's going on and then having to react to it. However, he said it's different. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that the Big Ten is trying to, do things differently and more fair.
Minnie, do you have a mobile camera there?
Yes.
Is that like your laptop or like one that you're shooting on right now?
Yeah, this is my laptop.
Yeah. Can you show us the room?
Oh, sure. So, it looks just like a conference room, but there's the stage.
It's got a little purple and black. That gives it maybe a little Vegas feel.
Yeah. But what's interesting, I walk around actually. I'll show you. You never know who we're going to run into. Okay, so right just behind me is the Big Ten Network. And it looks like they're setting up right now. They're going to start shooting.
These people at the Big Ten are going to see that there's a name tag that wasn't used. It says Mark Rogers on it. And they're going to say, this guy didn't show up. We're never going to give him a credential again.
I don't know if you can see, just right behind me.
Yeah, we can see. Very nice. We're not keeping you from lunch, are we, Minnie?
No, I'm not. I already had a big breakfast. And then, oh, it looks like there's a podium going on right now with Matt Roll. So I better get going.
Oh, yes. Can't miss that.
Yeah. No.
Right, Minnie? Good to see you.